Hey everybody, we're back for part two. I've got Nick over here on my left and Alex on my right. Ooh, that way. And we're going to go for lunch and dinner on this CR1M. For lunch, we're going to do chicken Italiano. We've got our M&Ms, our Jack Link's peppered steak bar, for our golden pumpkin soup. We've got our bread and a all-fruit bar raspberry. And of course, we got our Tabasco if we want to spice up our chicken Italiano. So first we're going to go ahead and get our sports drink mixed. And this feels a little hard, like it possibly may have gotten some moisture to it. But I'm going to separate it into two separate glasses. And because it calls for 500 mils. Yeah, it seems a little chunky in there, but it's okay. It'll be fine.
A little chunky.
It's a lot chunky, whatever. But y'all gonna drink it and like it. So, tropical flavor. It's actually probably my favorite of all flavors. There you go, mix that up.
Which isn't kill you, makes you stronger, right?
There you go. It doesn't give you botulism. Yeah, at least you don't have botulism, don't worry about it. All right, next up we're gonna mix up our golden pumpkin soup. It calls for 250 mils of boiling water. So let's open that up. Take a look at it and give it a smell. Doesn't actually smell that good, but we're gonna just go ahead and dump that into our canteen cup and add our 250 mils. I wouldn't put my hand on the bottom of that. All right, so there we go. If you want to give that a stir. And next we're going to go ahead and open up our chicken Italiano. We've already got it heated. Let's take a look inside of there. Oh, that looks a little bit different than I thought it would. Smells fantastic, very savory. I can see pasta in it, tomatoes, chunks of chicken. Yeah, that looks wonderful. And smells fantastic. Next up, we'll get our bread open so we can... Oh, and of course, can't have a review without Oscar going completely stupid. Here's our bread. And I do love the Australian bread. I mean, it's like a little... actual bun. That is just so neat. Then we're going to go ahead and let's see, we get our raspberry fruit bar. We'll open it up. And these are straight up just a chunk of fruit. So I'm going to slice that into three right now. Just get that right out of the way. And you can smell it. It just smells fantastic. If you want to look at the cross section of it, there you go. Yeah, that is just a chunk of condensed fruit. Let's go ahead and open up our Jack Link steak bar. And again, if you're in America and you haven't had a Jack Link steak bar, I'm shocked. Or if you're anywhere else, these are delicious. A little bit smaller than I was expecting it to be, but if anybody's seen my pizza video, that's what the pepperoni was a Jack Link steak bar from a U.S. ration. Okay, so, we got to check out our M&Ms. Let's see if these, even though they're a little bit out of date by about a year, we'll see if they've held up at all. Yeah, I can tell you they didn't. They have definitely bloomed and become white, powdery messes over here. Okay, so we've got our M&Ms, our fruit bar, our pumpkin soup. I'm sorry, that's not even in camera. There we go. We have our pumpkin soup. We have our tropical drinks, our Jack Link steak bar, our bread, and our chicken Italiano. So let's everybody, let's try the chicken Italiano first and get you some of that. Like I said, you can see chicken, You can see pasta, tomatoes. You can see, I believe, peppers in there.
Oh, that's delightful. That's really good.
Oh, you know, I'm not a huge fan of that. It's got a lot of oregano, I believe. Alex, your take?
Very good. It is savory.
It is definitely.
You can definitely taste the chunks of chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I'm going to go ahead and add a little Tabasco in it. Anybody have a problem with that?
Nope.
No.
Go right ahead.
So it's just, I'm just going to add it on one side. All right. Y'all get a taste of it with the, I don't mix it up. What's wrong with you? Always on top. Whoa. All right. Yeah, that really does not add to it.
No.
No, it didn't really help out much, but I had to use it. I usually like Tabasco, but it didn't really. I mean, picture, I'm going to say a can of spaghetti or some kind of, I don't know, can of pasta. That's kind of the noodles are, to me, are a little overdone. The chicken is good. It is a very savory sauce, though.
It's very fulfilling, right?
Yeah. I'm going to try a little bit of the sauce, take some of the bread. Y'all, if you want to try this, that's fine. Soak up a little bit of it. Because this is kind of like almost an Italian bread. Yeah, so, you know, I could do that. It, you know, I think this goes great with it. And honestly, if this ration had some of, say, the butter that came in the Russian ration that I had, or if this, you know, Bega, the ones that make the cheese, I also make red feather butter. Now, if they would add this in for the bread, that would truly be remarkable. So, I don't know. For me, this is about a 6 out of 10. Nick?
I say it's a 10.
All right, he likes it. Alex?
I give it like a 8.5.
All right. Next up, we're going to try the pumpkin soup that has what I can only describe as like cocoa pebbles floating in it. I don't know what those are. Maybe crouton. That's what they'd be, croutons. So everybody go on and get you. All right. Well, Alex says he doesn't really want to try the pumpkin soup. Nick, go ahead and get you a spoonful of it. Well,
That's actually not bad.
it's not bad. Those croutons are actually really crunchy still.
I have to get one of the croutons.
It tastes like, I don't know, liquid pumpkin.
Yeah. No,
Not much else I could say about it. I've never had pumpkin soup, so
it's not something I'd eat every day, but every once in a while that'd be a good
I don't
idea.
believe I'm actually going to eat it any day. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It's not bad, but so everybody grab you a piece of the fruit bar. This is the raspberry fruit bar. That's actually really good. It is a solid fruit pulp. Yeah. That is just nothing but flavor.
I would eat it again.
Yeah. Definitely good on that. Jack Link's bar.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with these. It's just beef jerky, sort of. Yeah, it's peppered beef steak. M&M's.
I go for it.
Yeah, they're pretty powdery. The chocolate in them is definitely bloomed, and
They still taste good.
they taste nothing but M&M in that. That's the one good thing is, you know, chocolate may turn white. That's just the milk fats separating, but it doesn't usually affect flavor until they become a powder. So you guys want to try the tropical drink? Tell me what you think of that.
Oh, that's really good.
Very
That's
good.
really, really good.
Yeah, I love that. So anyway, this was lunch, And we'll be back in just a minute. We're going to finish this food up and then start setting up for dinner. And Oscar, he's going to get the last piece of the beef steak. Here you go, buddy. And we said give us a few minutes. We're going to finish up with the dinner. All right, we're back with dinner. So everybody's still pretty full from lunch, but we're going to go ahead and forge on. So for dinner, we have our beef and onion gravy. We have our chicken or our mee goreng, our chocolate ration, our instant mashed potatoes, and we have ketchup, pepper, our other raspberry all fruit bar, salt, tea, coffee, sugar, and that should be everything. And this will finish out the whole CR1M. So we're going to go ahead and first we're going to start out with getting these instant mashed potatoes mixed up. So let's shake that up, and it calls for 250 mils or 1 cup of boiling water. So I'm going to add that into our canteen cup. And the last time I had these, they were actually pretty good. So Nick, if you want to go ahead and mix. The cool thing is I could have just left them in this pouch. It does have a gusseted bottom, so you can just set it down like this. And I've done this before where you just pour it in, reseal it, and just shake it up. But, all right, you've got that covered. Next up, our mee goreng. Now this, I'm going to have to actually boil the noodles up on. So let's go ahead and just cut that and get our seasoning packets out. Here we have the flavor seasoning, our soy, and our, I guess, garlic. Then we have our dried onions and our mee goreng sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and get these boiled up and be back in a second with that. Alrighty. So we got our mee goreng. You can see it. I've boiled it and it's drained. I'm going to go ahead and add our seasoning packets. The flavor oil, which for some reason never likes to get all of the good stuff out of it. Just the oil itself. This packet, I don't know, it's always so dried up. It just doesn't really pour well. And you got the soy packet. And that, of course, doesn't want to really come out like I want it to either. And then this one, I don't know, maybe it's ginger, but it just does not want to come out.
So you didn't cut the actual seal on it.
Yeah, I think I did. I know I did. Yeah, it just does not. There we go, get some of it out of there. Well, that did zero good to help, or did zero help. So we'll get that mixed in. We'll get our dried onions. And then we'll get our, whatever the powder is that makes it taste like mee goreng. I don't believe I've ever had one get this difficult on me. And we'll just get this all mixed up. And let it, flavors kind of come together a little bit. All right. Next up, we're going to get our beef and onion gravy out. And
I can already smell that. That smells
yeah,
really good.
it smells like a good beef stew. Oh, look at that. I should have saved the bread for this one, because that looks fantastic, smells fantastic. So I think we've got everything out. Oh, we don't have our coffee and tea, but honestly, oh, we've got to get our chocolate bar. Let's go ahead and open it and see if it, oh, already we can see it's bloomed. But it's not a powder like yeah, it's crumbly. So that's definitely bloomed like every Australian candy bar or chocolate bar I've ever seen. Here's our other all fruit raspberry. Which that was pretty flavorful in our last meal. And this is why I use a knife to cut everything, because nothing ever wants to split open like I want it to. So I'll just break that in half for the two boys. Awesome. And the coffee and tea we're actually going to just skip this time. We already know what coffee and tea tastes like. So we're just going to leave that. And we have our ketchup just in case we need it with this beef. I don't believe we will. But we definitely have our mashed potatoes to go with it. So let's start with our mee goreng. Take a taste of it, Nick. Get some of that. Alex. This is probably the best ramen type. Or flavor of ramen for me is the mee goreng.
That's wonderful.
Very good. Not as salty as, normal ramen.
That's a wonderful flavor all around.
Yeah, that is probably the best I've ever had. Thanks to my buddy Sticky Fingers. I actually, he sent me some mee goreng from Indomie. It's an Indonesian company, a manufacturer, and I ended up going on Amazon and ordering a case of it. That stuff is just so good. All right, let's go in and try the beef. You can see just big chunks of beef and gravy. That's all this is. So that looks really, really good. It smells magnificent. Oh.
That's like a good pot roast.
Oh my God, that is amazing. All right, sorry we paused for a minute there because the wife came home and caught us doing rations. So anyway, next up, so we tried the beef. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper to it just to see if that really makes the flavor pop a little bit more. I think this is actually a fantastic. The gravy in it is absolutely amazing, and the beef, it just homemade pot roast is what it tastes like. So we'll just add that in there. Give it a little stir. And by the way, both guys here found out that mee goreng is absolutely delicious. So in my case of mee goreng, it will now be going with them when they leave. Anyway, so let's grab another little bite of the beef and gravy. Oh yeah, that pepper.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, next we're going to try the mashed potatoes. Now these have chives in them, so I'm just going to take a little bit and scoop it on there for me, and they can try it or they can just try some of the. I just want to try it with the gravy. I guess I could have tried them by themselves first, but why bother? It's mashed potatoes.
Instant potatoes.
Yeah, unfortunately they're instant potatoes. They're okay, and they're not bad. I think the Canadian instant potatoes are a lot better. But when you add this gravy in there and this beef,
yeah,
this right here, this is a home-cooked meal. And if you're in the field, this is 100% a delicious meal. Yeah, absolutely. The potatoes are, like I said, they're instant potatoes. You can definitely tell that. But the chives in it really make them stand out. That gravy is just, it's amazing. Yeah, I got to say there's absolutely nothing wrong with this meal.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, very good.
That's absolutely
Very good.
That's absolutely wonderful.
All right, awesome. So next we're going to go ahead. You guys want to try the fruit bar again? You good? All right, well, we'll eat that in a minute. Now this chocolate is about as powdery as it gets. I don't want to move it around too much over the meat, but you can see it's just flaking. This has gone beyond bloom. But, of course, you got to take a hit for the team and try it. And it still tastes exactly like it should. It's just powdery.
Very rich.
Yes, it is a very rich, sweet chocolate.
Very good chocolate still.
It is still good chocolate. It's just absolutely destroyed. And it's funny how, the Australian, when these CR1Ms get here to the States, they have gone through so much just to get here that the chocolate is the first thing to go, and it just does not last. So I've got, like I said, I got both my boys here, Nick and Alex. And so tell me, guys, what's your thoughts? Neither one of you has ever had the CR1M. Nick, this is your first time with a ration. Alex has had them, but he's never had the Australian. So give me your thoughts on, what you think about what the Australian soldiers have out in the field.
That was a great meal through and through. Definitely would have just about all that all over again, especially the dinner items.
Yeah, it was very good. I'm kind of envious and jealous about what the Australians are able to eat compared to us. Although the Vegemite is, not exactly the best thing in the world. But
see, now I like the Vegemite. I really wish I could have had both of their faces while they were tasting the Vegemite. It was really definitely a priceless thing. Poor Oscar, he's not had very much of the ration itself. So I'm going to give this one actually a double thumbs up, guys. Throw them in a little bit closer. There you go. You see them? Okay, awesome. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did. And we'll catch you on the next one when I'll have actually my daughter and my wife on doing a British 24-hour. And thanks for watching.